Hey everyone, hope you are well. Welcome to another Affinity podcast where I have Jayesh, who is coming up to about 6 months into his program to the end of it. And yeah, so far he's done amazing work where he's around, I would say, 17 to 18 kgs down already. And yeah, with no further delay, Jayesh, if you can introduce yourself and tell us what you do and who you are.
Hi everyone, my name's Jayesh Patel. I'm an electrician and I've got a wife and a 4-year-old daughter.
And you say electrician, so you've got a busy job, like.
Yeah, it gets busy because we do maintenance as well, so that keeps us very busy and projects as well. So yeah, keeps us out of trouble.
Yeah, yeah. And for you, like, if you are, straight into the first question where it's like, what was going on in life that made you decide that, okay, you know what, it is time for change? What was your why? Why do you reach out to Affinity? What made you join? What was your mind thought behind it?
So we've been trying to lose weight for some time now and never actually joined a fitness club or anything like that.
Yeah.
But for just to sort of cut down what you eating, cut down what I eat and all that. But whatever I done never worked.
Okay.
Never seemed to be working, wasn't seeing the results or anything like that. So yeah, we heard about Affinity and obviously so started following them on Instagram and then we approached you guys.
And what made you kind of like, obviously, there's loads of people out there. Why Affinity and why not someone else? But I'm sure you follow other people, you've seen other people, you might know other people have done it. Was there something that was particularly leading you or attracting you to what we kind of were pushing out?
I think because I know a few people who've actually joined Affinity as well.
Hmm.
Um, and they saw the results stuff like that. So we thought we'll try Affinity out. We've not actually tried anyone before. So we heard good things about it, and we're following you guys on Instagram for some time as well. We see a lot of fantastic people out there who's lost a lot of weight and turned their lives around.
Yeah.
So we thought we'll try you. We'll see how it goes. And because me and the missus were both doing it, um, before yeah, just stick to the same company, and then we see how it pans out.
And that's amazing, right? As you said, literally, you both do it. We hear a lot of people doing one person joins, one person with someone else, and it sometimes clashes. And I'm really happy that I got to work with both of you, and you both joined. And I mean, both of you have got incredible results so far. Like Chet smashed it completely. Um,
Yeah,
and would you have thought it would have been different if one of you joined or one of you didn't?
I think it would have been because we're both playing together. We were sort of egging each other on to get things done and stuff like that. The workouts we were doing it together in the evenings. So we were pushing each other along and helping each other out. So that does make a big difference.
Yeah, yeah. And if you were to like describe one day in your life before you join the program? Obviously, you're a busy electrician on the road all the time, nutrition wise and all that kind of. What was it typical day in a life of Jayesh like before you joined the plan?
So before it was really like more like binge eating because sometimes when we're out on the road we don't get much time to have lunch or whatever. So you just pick up a quick croissant or a quick bar of chocolate or something and that's your lunch done. And then yeah, then you get hungry, then you start picking other stuff, especially when you're driving around. You're always going to start sort of like just nitpicking, eating sweets or chocolates, crisps, all that kind of stuff. You wouldn't think to go for a piece of fruit or something like that. And then you will sort of like come dinner, you have your dinner in the evening. Once you've had dinner, you then have another snack before while you're watching TV. Usually for me, it would be like a couple of packet of crisps and some peanuts, and
Mm.
that was pretty much on a day-to-day basis.
And
But now
always,
it's like, yeah, sorry.
yeah, go on, sorry.
I was just saying now it's just come after joining you guys, it made the perspective different now. So now, no matter how busy you are, you got the protein shakes stuff for that. So I've never even thought of going for protein shakes or protein yogurt or anything like that. It keeps you quite full as well. So if
Yeah.
you're still busy, then have a protein, and it actually keeps me going.
And because you say busy, because you obviously like, live a busy lifestyle in terms of work and stuff on the road all the time. Would you say before joining, you would have ever thought, you know what, if someone told you go join a program or go to the gym or do that, and would your answer have been, shit, mate, you know what, bro, I don't have time for this shit, bro. Like, I don't have time for me doing all this stuff. How do you expect me to do all this stuff? Now, if you look at it back on it and where you are right now, if you share some of the results you've done, how long you've been with me, how much. how the body feels different, how clothes feel. Having achieved everything so far in the last 6 months compared to before that, how do you feel now?
To be honest with you, I feel great now. So the only thing is going to be expensive changing my wardrobe now, but yeah, that's a good result. So that's I'm not overly fussed with that one. But even when I see my work guys and all that, or see my clients and stuff like that, after if they, especially if they haven't seen me for a couple of months, the first question that comes out of their mouth is, "Are you sick?" And I was like, "No, I'm fine. Why is that?" Because you've lost so much weight.
Mm,
So usually, like when someone's really sick, then that's where they say, "Oh, you lost a lot of weight. So are you all right? You feeling all right and all that?" But
yeah.
I just say no, I'm good. I've joined. I actually I tell them I've joined you guys, and yeah, I've been just following this program. They're following their program and stuff like that.
And how does
But
it
it
feel
feels
to
good
be
though.
about 17, 18 kgs down to date?
Amazing, lowest I've ever been from what I can remember, and it just feels so great. I feel more fit as well.
Hmm.
When you're walking around, it's like sometimes up a hill, you'll get a bit out of breath, whatever. But now it's all right. Now it's not too bad. Much better.
And does it feel like, oh my God, I had to flip my life upside down? Like, I get it, right? When you first join a program, it's daunting. Um, like, oh, obviously with us as well, we sent you a lot of information, right? We want to make sure you're set up on things. There's apps, there's, food tracking, there's all these things. At the start, how did you feel compared to now?
It was different because obviously when you normally eat, like you don't, so that routine of sort of logging your food and calculating, measuring everything, all that kind of stuff. So it was a bit weird when we first started, but it became part of the norm after. So it was just a normal thing for us to do on a daily basis after, and we a little bit adapting, but it was okay. It was actually quite good. It was gives
And
you an
did it,
insight of what you're actually eating.
yeah. And did you feel like when you struggled and stuff, like you had someone there to like, just like, okay, you know what, I have got this question. How do I do it? Or was it like, oh, did you feel afraid to reach out and stuff like that?
Nah, you guys were amazing. Every day you checking in, and every time you say, any questions, whatever, let us know, whatever, reach out to you. So yeah, if we were stuck or anything, or we're struggling, or we had a bad day or whatever, then we were reaching out to you. So, but yeah, no, you guys have always been supportive.
Yeah. And do you feel like, obviously, you've not done the program before, so this is the first time you've done it. What made you kind of go to an online coach compared to, let's say, a standard PT to the gym?
So, as you said earlier, uh, with the work that I do get very tired, obviously.
Mhm.
So there was no, I couldn't get to the gym because then you get home in the evening, you're absolutely shattered. It
Yeah.
was something that sort of wherever I had at home, like I got a treadmill at home, so we were doing that stuff for that. But most of it, I was never. If I went to gym, I know that I wouldn't have done it purely because I would avoid made the excuse. So I'll go tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that would never have happened.
And did you feel like with the workouts we gave at home, they were quite easy to doable instruction wise? Like, was it like, oh my God, I can't do this? Or like, did it feel normal to do?
No, that was all right because they weren't long workouts, and it was literally only took 20 minutes, half an hour max in the evening. And you know, for you to do that half an hour, and you rather invest that time in to do that
Mm.
rather than just sitting around watching TV or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the timing was good, and it wasn't overdoing it as well. So it wasn't like there was something crazy every day. It was every other day. So, and the good thing was you can do it on your own time as well.
Yeah. And now, because you're obviously busy and stuff, right? You say now, before joining, I don't have time. Now you have to look back and to say, okay, suddenly you got time, right? You had the busy lifestyle
Yeah.
before. Your life's still the same.
Yes.
How do you feel you manage time now? Where's this sudden all this time come from?
I think to be honest with you, when you start something, especially when you set a goal that you want to achieve your weight loss or whatnot, for example, and you wasn't seeing the results, it puts sort of demotivates you. But then now I can see, you know what, it doesn't happen overnight. And even before, like, because I was eating the wrong things and whatnot. And with you guys, I was seeing the difference pretty much from the first day I started.
Hmm.
I saw the difference, down to the very first meal we ever had, right after we joined you, where we were measuring what we were putting in, and we thought, okay, that food probably wouldn't be enough for me back in the days,
Hmm.
but I've adapted to it, and it's actually I don't go like I don't starve myself. I still eat full meals, but it's all about it's like what you said, making time to make the right foods and make the right choices.
Yeah.
So now it's easier for me to do that because I've already done it for 6 months. And
Hmm.
now I know that, you know what, I can carry on doing this, using the same guidelines that you've given us and still carry on losing weight.
And in terms of like investment, right? Obviously, it's a big thing, right? It's not, look, we're not saying that it's couple £100. It's an investment you put in. And you did it jointly, right? So husband and wife both put in investment.
Yeah,
Did they feel like, oh my God, that's quite a lot? Like, and now having seen the results of it, would you say that if someone who's looking out or someone listening to this and say, oh, you know what, they're on the borderline, oh, I really want to do it. They're online, I'm never going to see them. Is their investment worth putting into?
100%. 100%. You definitely see a difference in your lifestyle, in your health. Um, probably the best choice I've made is joining you guys, and I can see the results.
Mm.
That's my biggest thing. This is my lowest weight I've been in I don't know how many years.
In your teens?
It feels great. Sorry.
Maybe in your teens?
Probably. And I'm 42 right now, yeah. So definitely late teens.
Yeah. Um, in terms of learning, right? Obviously, we've taught you quite a bit, food, workouts, steps, all those kind of things. What's been your biggest learning point, and is it part of your routine now?
I think the biggest learning point for us was the food that we ate, and we've obviously I live with my parents as well, and we cook. We obviously they have the chapatis and curries and whatnot kind of stuff. But even now, it's like they start they start following what we eating as well in certain aspects.
Hmm.
So it's that's probably the biggest learning that we've had out of it is the type of food we eat, even down to the way we cook it. That made a big difference. And before, you wouldn't even think that.
Yeah. And even obviously, like obviously, like obviously, I run into you in school and stuff. We go to our kids go to similar school and stuff. Um, you know, walks. Like I've seen you walk to school and stuff now to pick up your daughter and stuff. In the past,
Yeah,
would that have been different?
we would have driven down, even though we're around the corner. We would have driven down because
And obviously,
with
yeah,
with the work that I do, I'm probably driving for about 4 hours a day. So I don't get much activity done. Especially if I'm maintenance, I don't get much done. So that's my only time that I can get my working done is if I'm walking to pick up my daughter.
yeah,
So I'd rather leave the car at home and just actually walk down, especially not in nice warm days.
yeah.
It was a nice walk.
And how did you feel like, when we said to you, okay, you know what, we want to try and get to a point where we're trying to do 10,000 steps a day? At the start, you're like, what? You're driving 4 hours a day. How am I going to get that compared to how you're doing it now?
It was daunting, but it was a struggle for the first. Don't get me wrong, it was a struggle because coming from someone who probably walked about 5,006 tops, going straight to 10, was a struggle. But to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever missed a single day of hitting my 10, even if it's down just doing the last 20 minutes or half an hour on the treadmill
Hmm.
in the evening. We still hit it. And now it's like we've got our mentality set. Okay, tonight we're going out, so we need to get our steps done in earlier. So we'll get the treadmill done earlier during the day and get
Yeah,
our steps done. So that's one activity crossed off. And then wherever you hit or more than after 10,000, that's a bonus for you after.
yeah. And you said, right, you live with your mom and dad and your daughter and everyone, right? And just you two getting into a plan has kind of had a ripple effect on the family, and their choices as well. Um,
Yeah,
what have they said to you? Like, oh my God, like, are you doing this? So in terms of support and stuff. Obviously, you told them, look, mom and dad, we're doing this, so our things are going to be different now. How was it
yeah.
to start to now?
When it started, they were like, "Are you? How much you looking to weigh?" And it was like, "How much you looking to lose?" Well, no, obviously, they talk about targets stuff like that. And they go, "You're gonna go." The first thing was, "Are you going to join the gym?" Well, no, because we don't need to join the gym because we've already spoken to you guys, and we said, "Look, we're not going to be in a position where we can join the gym." And you say, you said from day one that you don't need to join the gym if you don't want to. There's
Mm,
other ways of doing it. And obviously, they were a bit skeptical around it, but again, they saw the results and they were like, "Oh, carry on then."
yeah, yeah. And obviously now, like, if they look at you now, they might be like, what the hell, what's happened to you as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, to drop the 15, 16 kilos, that is for me, that's a big milestone.
Anyone, even if someone drops 10, it's a big milestone, right? And I'm not,
Yeah,
and you're not done yet. Like it'll drop off, though. You're still like, we're gonna hit that 20. You're gonna hit that 20 mark as well, which would be good. And you just gotta carry on with the lifestyle changes, right? Um,
yeah.
in your mind, when you joined, did you ever think that okay, it's gonna be a 6 month program and that's it, I'll be done, or is it now like okay, you know what, shit, we've just changed my whole life around?
It has changed the life run. I mean, it's something that even though we're coming to the end of our program with you, but it's something that we'll be in the midst will definitely carry on with though. So we've taken learning curves away, and we don't want to revert back to where we was 6 months ago. That's one thing that we don't want to do.
Yeah,
So we still
and
carry on the same way we're doing now.
and obviously, busy day, busy lifestyle, kids get unwell, you're unwell, things happen, life takes over. In the last 6 months, we've had a couple of those. How have you dealt with the lack of motivation? You know what, today I can't be asked. You know what, what's kept you going? That is like, okay, you know what, shit, I need to do this.
To be honest with you, um, because we've had continuous results showing on a weekly basis, we've not actually felt demotivated with anything.
Hmm.
Even like when you're not well, or whatever, you're not well, but you still got to power through it and just strive and get your best done, really. Because there's one thing that you don't want is like, let's say you got your minimum of 10,000 steps a day, for example, and one day you go to eight, then you think, okay, I'll catch those 2,000 steps up the next day, but that never turns out.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get into that mentality of, okay, I'll catch you up the next day. Just clear off that one day, and then that's at least that way you got no, there's no saying, oh, I missed my steps by 2,000 yesterday or 1,500. There was none of that stuff.
And the
Always
biggest
make sure.
and the other biggest thing, right? Obviously, while on a plan, you went on a holiday for a wedding up the road.
Yeah.
Before the wedding, we had conversations on how we're gonna plan it, and I helped you plan the wedding and all that kind of stuff. What did you feel before you left? Oh my God, I've lost X amount of weight. We're going away for 2 weeks, abroad, full on wedding, food, all inclusive, all that kind of stuff. And I'll let you say it. What did you come back 2 weeks later to?
It's the first time that I could ever say I'm actually happy that I flatlined because of what I left here with and what I came back with, it was exactly the same.
And did you feel you had
And
to compromise on stuff when you went?
to be honest with you, it was a wedding, close family wedding it was, so there was gonna be a lot of drinking and stuff like going on and a lot of food. We made wise choices. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner was there. We don't eat breakfast when we're here even. So do we need to have breakfast there? Not really. We can skip breakfast, have lunch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had the lunch and the dinner. With the drinking, we were hitting 22,000 steps a day over there. So and it's obviously abroad, so it's a bit hot as well. So we were burning a lot more off as well. So we kept that sort of in line with that way.
Hmm.
So no, still, we doubled our steps over there while we were there, just to
And
make
how
sure we
and
don't.
how did you handle the food there? Like obviously it's all Indian food and like
Over there, obviously, we couldn't log the food, we couldn't log it, we couldn't weigh it, we didn't know how it was made or nothing. But we were just portion controlling ourselves, so we weren't overdoing it on the food. We weren't sort of like going back for seconds. We were just eating what we know we can handle. That's it. Because by the time I think we was with you, it was like 3, 4 months into it. I think it was 3 months into it.
yeah,
So we knew kind of how much food we can actually handle, or how much what our calorie intake should be and all that
yeah.
as a rough figure. So we were able to sort of calculate it from there.
And then you came back same weight or a little bit less, I guess. Which was great, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as you came back, there was no like, oh my God. From my point of view, I didn't see anything like, oh, I came back the same way. Or you know what? It would take a couple of weeks to kind of get back into it. I think you both literally went on it. Like, what was in your mindset at that point? Like, okay, we're back now, landed. Some people are like, okay, I'll start. Like, let's say you land on a Friday. People were like, okay, you know what? I'll start Monday. But what was different for you? Okay, we landed now. What are we doing next?
No, we literally went. I mean, before we went, you said when you come back, do not weigh yourself. But the first thing we did when we got back, we weighed ourselves, and we were glad. We were glad. Um, on the way back, we obviously knew, okay, when we go back, holiday's over. We need to get back into routine quick as possible and not become complacent. And that's exactly what we did.
Hmm.
Came back, had that mindset. Okay, straight back to it. Let's not waste time. Let's not take the foot. Just not take the pedal off the foot.
Yeah, yeah. And again, the results started coming in, the weight started dropping, right? Which is always good. Last final question for you, right? If you were to give someone who's listening to this or someone who's gonna see on Instagram and stuff, three tips to them. Either is someone who's starting out, someone who's already on a program with us, with anyone. What would you tell them if you're demotivated, or whoever it is, if someone's on the borderline of joining, what three tips would you say that you have to share that you kind of like non-negotiable? This is like my three tips.
I think tip one is if you're seriously interested in doing it, then take the plunge and do it. You will see the difference as long as you're true to yourself. Yeah. So log absolute everything, even if it's down to the last beer. Log it in. If you have a sneaky lunchtime pint, log it in. You're gonna be able to control your intake is. And at the same time, if you got an event coming up, get your stuff in earlier. Yeah, plan for the evening. So like you kept saying to us, all right, we're going out tonight. Have a sensible lunch. Yeah,
Hmm.
have your dinner in the evening. Salads, protein shakes, whatnot. Follow that routine. You will see results. Number two would be with me. I was a big boy before, yeah, and you take photos and you see yourself and you think this is not right. I went to Thailand for the wedding, taking photos now, completely different, completely different. You start looking good about it. So you just start looking good. You start feeling good about yourself. Yeah. People will always going to be there. They're going to say to you, "Oh, it's not going to work. It's not going to work." Ignore those people. Ignore those people. Don't worry about those people. Yeah. You doing it for yourself, family, kids. That's what you're doing it for. Stay healthy, and that's what it is. That's what it's about.
And literally, as I said, right, everyone has to have a why, the reason you join, why. Everyone's got their own journey and stuff, which is, as you said, you hit on that, you are doing it for you. Every day is going to be you versus you. It's not, no one, people are going to judge. It is what it is, right? If you do good, people are going to judge. If you don't do good, people are going to judge. Oh, he's not doing it. Oh, he's doing it. You have to just focus on yourself. And as you said, because you can see the results, it motivates you more. And you
But
do it. How did you feel like, or just because would you say you were the person, or you and Chet both were the people who were like open about the journey, like, oh shit, we are on a program, we are doing this, or will you be like, you know what, we're gonna keep it to ourselves?
no, we told people. We told people. So we
And do
weren't
you think that
ashamed
do you
of
think
anything.
do you think that made a difference? Imagine you didn't
I
tell
think,
someone, right? Let's say you went out with dinner with your boys, and you didn't tell them
yeah,
that you're on this plan. Obviously, they'll push buttons, they'll say stuff, and
yeah,
come on, Jayesh, have another beer, come on, Dad. You set the boundaries. This is what I'm doing. And
yeah.
I feel that's helped. That helps a lot. The support structure
It does.
around when you do is important.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does help. And like I said, there's always going to be those minority people who say that's not going to work, and oh, you don't, why are you doing that? You're wasting your time and whatever. Let them be. Let them talk where they want. Doesn't matter. But now it's like when they see the results, they say, oh, crap, it actually did work.
Mhm.
And they ask you questions, oh, how do you do it, and all that kind of stuff. I say, well, you join them in, and you find out how you do it. That's it.
Uh, any final words? Anything final you have to say before we call it a wrap?
The guys, the coaches are amazing. Yeah, Vinny has been super supportive for me and the missus, and follow his guidelines. And you know what? You will definitely see the results. If I can do it, then anyone can do it.
Thank you, mate. Um, yes, so that's Jay here with us, 17 kgs down. And if you're interested in, achieving what he's done or anything similar, look, just drop us a message on Instagram. Message us, me, Nick, Jamie, we're all here to help. Um, never shy away. Yeah, if you don't ask, you don't get. And yeah, apart from that, all of you have a good day.